Good morning. Today is February 2nd. Now it's going to have to be some math because it's not the first of the month. 31 days of January, today's the 2nd. So today is the 33rd day of losing 60 pounds. I weighed in at 272, but I was so thirsty this morning that I had to drink water. And did not post this weekend, but I did some really cool stuff that I'll talk about later in the video. Lemon water. Sunlight to reset the circadian rhythm. Wake up and just helps my body and eyes and mind really just start the day, as well as scientifically it says that it helps with winding down later in the day when the sun is not out. Thankful to see another day. Let's make some breakfast. But the first order of business is the morning drink with 10 grams of creatine monohydrate for brain and muscle benefits. Apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of that for digestion, and it helps with the energy spikes with the first meal of the day. It's like insulin resistance. And then the rehydration coming from the Baja Gold sea salt that has electrolytes in it. After the chicken weenies, I put the bagels in the air fryer at 320 degrees for 6 minutes. They come out perfect, and then glaze the wieners in raw honey. Ooh, some whipped strawberry cream cheese. This stuff is like fluffy. If a cloud was on my butter knife right now, that is what it would feel like. This meal is 825 calories, 72 grams of protein, 68 grams of carbs, and 30 grams of fat. The meal itself is made up of 1 Dave's Killer Bagel with 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, 5 chicken weenies with 5 grams of honey, and then pink salt on top. And then I have 130 grams of Icelandic Skyr, Icelandic yogurt, 1 scoop of whey isolate protein powder, and then about a half a tablespoon of chia seeds. At the gym, I always start with foam rolling the back, and then I do the glutes. Popping the leg over helps get to the glute a little bit better. And then I do the hamstrings, oscillating the full length, do the calves, rolling back each side to try and get all of the calf. You can stack the leg for extra pressure. Then I do the quads, just rolling from the top of the knee up to below the hip flexor, and then the IT bands. This thing hurts, but it is great. And then I just stretch out the lats, and this just helps with the overall back mobility. I do Captain Morgan's to loosen up the IT band, hip flexor, and adductor on the side of the leg. And then I do some World's Greatest Stretch just to warm up everything. If I had to choose one warm-up exercise for active mobility, it would be this. It warms up a lot of things at once, and it's quick and dirty. For the first exercise on this leg day, I start off with belt squats. I did 5 sets. The first set was 12 reps, then 10 reps, then 8 reps. And then I did 2 heavy sets of 6 reps to finalize it off. Just keeping the feet flat. I like the third hole out on the chain link and just trying to get good depth and then pushing the hips forward at top so that I get a full rep every single rep. This is a great machine, alternative to barbell back squats. Then I did some sled pulls. Now for working the posterior chain, the calves, hamstrings, I walk forward with it, and then the knees and front of the body, anterior position, I do sled pulls. Then I isolate the quads with some leg extensions and just try and do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps with a good squeeze at the top of every rep. To isolate the hamstrings, I did a unilateral hamstring curl machine. This is a great exercise, just making sure to stop the weight, stop momentum at the top of each rep to really lock in the hamstring contraction. Then I did calf raises. I did 4 sets of 15 reps on the calves, and just editing these videos over time, I have seen that my calves are getting way more defined through this and cardio, but especially calves machines. And I think that there's definitely research out there, but standing where the calves are actually lengthened is a lot more important for growing the calves than just the seated ones. Finished off with some cardio at 3 incline, 3.2 speed for 30 minutes, and the overall workout took me about an hour and 20 minutes all said and done, and I burned 925 calories according to the Apple Watch. Then I got home and realized how dirty my shoes were, so I used some baking soda and vinegar, just like an old high school project, and I just scrubbed them on there. You can see how dark the bottom of my shoes are, and just wait until I show you what they look like after. I used some Dawn Power Soap, just let this sit on there with some hot water for about an hour in the sink, scrubbed it all in, and then been looking into ways to maximize relaxation and kind of switch the nervous system out of fight or flight, especially at night before bed and post-workout. And a couple things that I am trying, listening to like Bob Marley or reggae music after working out to try and calm it that way, as well as I picked up this eucalyptus plant. I've never even seen a eucalyptus plant before, but I got it from Trader Joe's, and I got some eucalyptus essential oil and lavender essential oil, and I'm going to spray the shower with some water infused essential oil and try and put this plant in my shower. See how it works, but always trying to try something new. Fellas, these microblades that females use are insane for shaping the top of the beard. Definitely try them out. Transparently, I am trying to get my thyroid stimulating hormone at a certain level. Below 2 or below is like really good. Last year it was like 7, really bad. It basically means that my pituitary gland in my brain is asking my thyroid to make more thyroid hormone, and it wasn't, and which would make me hypothyroidism. Like my thyroid isn't working, so I have to level it out with a medication like levothyroxine, which helps the thyroid and the body get what it needs, but my body isn't producing. And that process takes weeks. It's like 4 to 6 weeks before it even like has some type of change, because it has to layer and layer and layer every day. The dosage is, it basically have to wait 6 weeks, and then you take a blood test and it shows you your level, and then the symptoms lag behind that level. So it's just like this whole trial and error thing. The thing that sucks is just taking it every day and waiting for it to change. Obviously, I've come a long way with this process, but every time you increase or lower the dose, it resets those symptoms. Maybe not as severe as I've learned, but it's still this imbalance in the brain of like, I've been taking this certain medication at this certain dose for 6, 8, 12 weeks, and the body is stabilized around it. So when you increase the dose or decrease the dose, there's this loss of stabilization, and it's always between like the 4 and 7 to 8 weeks where it gets the tipping point, the worst of it. And so today is 4 weeks on this increase. I've just been noticing like swings in energy, swings in mood. It affects weight and the metabolism, so it's just all these things. Something that they recommended was doing a SSRI to help with the mental mood swings and just try and level it out. And I looked into SSRIs, and the side effects seem terrible. So I started digging into some research studies on clinical trials comparing SSRIs to saffron extract. Saffron extract is a natural form of a SSRI, I guess. SSRIs are made in like labs. I don't even know what they are. But the clinical trials all showed that they had similar benefits with the cognitive stability without any of the side effects. And so I've been taking saffron extract for about 4 to 6 weeks. And this is the kind that I take. It's a supplement that is 88.5 milligrams per pill, per capsule, and I just take it right after breakfast. It says to take it with a meal. And on the front of the bottle, it just says support for positive mood levels. I've definitely noticed through these dosage increases over the past year and trial and error, not even past year, like 6 months really, this is the most control over my mental instability that I've had since taking this. So I know that with SSRIs, it's like there's a ramp up phase. You can't just come off of them. You have to like slowly titrate them down over time. But I don't know, I've never taken one. But if you guys are taking SSRIs or anything, consider looking into the saffron extract. My sleep last night, I got 8.5 hours of sleep, awake for 5 minutes, 2 hours and 24 minutes of REM, 5 hours and 3 minutes of core sleep, and then an hour and 6 minutes of deep sleep. My heart rate looked good, dropped down to 47 beats per minute, and my respiratory rate looked normal. For lunch, I am making some noodles, so I'm gonna heat up some water and then some chicken on the side with salt, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, black pepper, and then smoked paprika. And just put this with some pliers, mix everything around, and then just spray some avocado oil in the air fryer, and then throw the little chicken in there. And then for the noodles, I have boiling water. And this flavor I haven't tried. It's called Thrilled Cheese. It looks so good on the box. Their marketing is insane. Just throw those in there for 9 minutes. Flip the chicken. I do 400 degrees, 10 minutes, and then I flip it and do another 9 minutes on the other side. And obviously let them rest for like 5 minutes of juices, come in how they're supposed to. The noodles is just 9 minutes boiling. Put in a fourth of cup of almond milk. To go. The side that I'm using for my gut is some kimchi. This stuff grosses me out every time. It's such a hard eat, but I am doing 96 grams of it, continuously doing that to try and repair and refix the gut issues. 10 ounces of air fried chicken breasts with some seasonings. Then we have a 1.5 cups of goodles, high protein macaroni. On the side, I just have some yellow squash, green zucchini, red bell pepper, and onion that I cooked last night. And then, sadly, on the side, about 90 grams of kimchi to make me throw up. This meal is 919 calories, 113 grams of protein, because there's 88 grams of protein coming from the chicken, and then the goodles, I love them. They're just high in protein. And then 80 grams of carbohydrates, and then some gut healing kimchi. These how the shoes came out after cleaning with baking soda and vinegar, and then some Dawn power wash. I mean, these were like scorched earth black, and they're pretty white now. And same with, besides this like yellowish part on the, I don't know what this is, a plastic type, everything else looks pretty white. I'm happy with how they came out. I'm gonna try and do this to all my white shoes now. It's that time of the month where I need to redo all my supplement containers these last 2 weeks, so I only have to do it twice a month, but still tedious but necessary process. Supplements I take are magnesium glycinate for sleep, fish oil for heart and brain health, selenium for my thyroid, men's 1-a-day vitamin just to cover all the bases, and then vitamin D. And this weekend I actually tried a Shirley Temple. I found it at Whole Foods. I've been looking for this. I used to have so many Shirley Temples as a kid, and this flavor is so freaking good. This weekend was awesome. I had to go ski down a mountain nearby, and that was fun, just knocking the dust off of the skis. The conditions were well. It's crazy that it's like 70 degrees where I am, and then just like a couple hours away it's like 30, 40 degrees on the mountain. Kind of makes sense, but not really. And then later that night I actually got baptized for the first time in my life. I just kind of assumed that I was baptized as a child, and then I found out in the recent years that I wasn't. And my walk with faith has been for a long time, but gradually progressed and grown over this past decade, and it just felt right to do it this time. It was a monumental shift in my life. And I went to like an hour and a half sermon before being baptized. There's this one sentence that stood out while I was actually leaving the baptism tub of water. And it was like by the guy that baptized me. He just like offhandedly said, "Everything before this stays in the water." And I was getting out and just like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, he's probably talking about like sweat or whatever. And as I thought about it for like the minutes and hours after, and even today, days after, I don't know, that just sat really strong with me, almost like a rebirth or a reshedding of skin. And I don't think that you have to get baptized to get that. If you just think about the concept of waking up, and the past doesn't determine the future, you can kind of rebrand yourself right now, tomorrow, today. And I think it's just an important mental shift to have consistently of my future is not predetermined by past decisions that I made or parents or people before me made, friends in my life that impacted situations or environments made. It's just about your decision today to be the person that you want to be. And you can also change that person that you want to be. It doesn't have to be predetermined of like, my parents did this, so I need to do this, or I dressed like this, so I need to do this, or I always wanted to do this as a kid, so I'm destined, determined to do this. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. It can be whatever life you want to make it. But I think something like getting baptized, besides the spiritual healing and like reincarnation of my life and what I want to be, I think it's also a huge thing for shedding old ways and truly leaving the person I was before getting baptized in that water and continuing to walk in this new light. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.